Good morning, family. Good morning, everybody. We are live again. My name is Bondoza the Builder. Thank you so very much, and once more time to take your time to watch this, whether you'll be watching in the evening, during the day, or at night, whenever you'll be watching this. Thank you so very much for taking your time to watch this. My name is Bondoza the Builder. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a publisher. I'm an entrepreneur. But most importantly, I just love people. I just love serving people. I just love making a difference in people's lives. We've been doing these lives since the past month, and this is our second month. And we are grateful for the opportunity for you to listen to us and what we are trying to do. I think, is our 8th episode trying to build this thing and doing this thing. Thank you so much for those who have subscribed on our YouTube channel as well. We are growing in that. Even the views are growing. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. I'm so grateful. Hey Zintle. Thank you so much, guys. We are appreciative of your support and taking your time. I know some of you are at work. Some of you are at home. Some of you are busy with your own things. But I'm so grateful that you are taking your time to listen to us and to just help each other to grow in certain areas. Like I said, my name is Bondoza the Builder, and I'm a certified life coach, and this is what I do, and trying to make a difference in people's lives. Thank you so much, guys, again. Today we continue. The rest of the people will find us on the way. We don't waste time in this broadcast. We just hit the ground running. Today I just want to talk about the importance of building through relationships. And when I talk about relationships, I'm not talking only about romantic relationships or only on that, but I'm talking about building through relationship, because most of the time we think that it will never grow out of fashion to know people and to treat people right, because most of the things that you're gonna need in your life, most of the things that you need to achieve in your life, the rest of the things that you're gonna need, they are in other people. You're forever gonna need people to help you along the way. You're forever gonna need people to journey with you towards your goals and everything that you need to do. So that's why I always say to people, never say you don't care what people say. You don't care what people think about you. Like I'm saying, you always have to care about what people think about you. You must always care about what people say about you. Why? Because people are doors. People, they can take you from this season and put you to another season in a split of a wink of an eye. Why? Because people are doors. So it's important to build the relationships, to be intentional about building relationships. And as I'm saying, I'm not only talking about romantic relationships, but I'm talking about family relationships, friendships in general. Those things, they need to be built. You're not gonna just have results of something that you've never intentionally put down and built. So today we're talking about building through relationship, the importance of building through relationships, because like I said, you're forever gonna need people, and the things that you need to achieve, they are the people that the circle in your life, they know people that you don't know. That's the importance of building relationships. The people that are in your life, they know certain people that you don't know, and when they know the people, you'll find out that the only breakthrough that you need is for that person to refer you, is for that person to speak about you, is that person just to mention your name and then you get the job, is that person just to mention your name and then you get the opportunity. So today we just want to talk about the three components that are important in building relationships. And like I said, I'm not talking about only love relationships or romantic relationships, but I'm talking about even with your colleagues. Build solid relationship with your colleagues, with your family members, with your neighbors, building relationships. So the first thing that I just want to talk about, and that is key, there are three components in this thing that I'm going to talk about. But the first thing that I want to talk about is reciprocation. Reciprocation simply means that it's a mutual equivalent exchange. It simply means that when somebody does something for you, you pay it back, or you do it back to them. If somebody has been good to you, you do the same thing over their lives. If somebody maybe one day has helped you with a taxi fare, one day when they need a taxi fare, you do the same for them. So that is important to understand, that we are talking about three building fundamentals or core fundamentals in relationships. And like I'm saying, we are not talking about relationships in terms of romantic or that, but we are talking about relationships in business, relationships having colleagues, relationships in every area of your life, because that is important. Most of the people that I know and that I've come across, they've built businesses, they've built great things through relationships. So it's going to be key for us to understand that you're not going to be able to build anything sustainable outside relationships. Relationships are key. There are people that you don't even have to know them personally, but just to greet them, just to meet them and leave it there, because you don't know when you're going to need them again. So it's important. The other day I was watching Casper Nyovest, I think that most of us know, and his friend Capo. These guys, they've been friends for years. They've been friends for years. And today when I look at Capo, obviously Casper is more famous than Capo, but Capo is building his brand, he's building his business, he's building his TV shows through Casper. Why? Because they've got a relationship as friends. They've been friends, and Capo has invested a lot of years in their relationship with Casper. So is us. It's important. The first thing, there are three components that I want us to understand. There are three components that I want us to get today. The first component is reciprocation. Like I said, reciprocation simply means that what you do for me, I do for you. What you do for me, I do for me. Because that's the key thing that keeps relationships. Relationships are kept by you doing something for me and me doing something for you. It's not a one-way traffic. Because that's why people sometimes feel like they are being used. You'll hear somebody says, yo, I feel like this person uses me. I feel like this person, you know why? Because what you do for them is not reciprocated. You don't receive back the love. You don't receive back what you do for them. And I'm not talking only about love, but I'm saying when we are in a relationship, whether it's a working relationship, whether it's friendship, but when you do something for people and you don't get the same mutual exchange, it becomes a problem, because you end up feeling, this person is using me. So today I want us to understand that the first thing that we need to do, to be intentional about in any type of relationship, is to reciprocate what the other person is doing. If somebody else does something good for you, you must also do the same. And I'm not saying same time, but when they need help, be them. It doesn't boil down only to money. It doesn't have to be about money, but be there for them. Somebody maybe in their family passes away, go and visit them, be there for them. Those things are key. We call that you are reciprocating the good that they've done for you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, relationships are built on trust. If I don't trust you, I cannot build a relationship with you. If I don't find you reliable, I cannot build anything sustainable with you. So the second thing that is key in us building true relationship, be a person who's trustworthy. Be a person of your word. Don't just say things and don't not follow up. Do something, follow it through. Why? Because we are building a trust. If you don't build trust, no one will have a solid relationship with you. So this is important. Number two, you must be a trustworthy person. You need to be a reliable person so that everyone will understand, so that you can be a go-to guy. So it's important, number two, that in order for us to build through relationship, you need to be trustworthy, okay? Number one, we started by you being, reciprocate everything that people do to you. That's number one. Number two, become a trustworthy person. Be trustworthy. Be trustworthy. Stick to your words. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Why? Because it helps you to be a reliable person. All right. Number three, loyalty. I said we're going to talk about three things. Number three, loyalty. Is going to be important. Loyalty simply means that you are a committed person. We all want loyal people. We all want loyal people, whether in our businesses, whether in our families, wherever we find ourselves in. We all want to be around people who are loyal. We want to be around people who are dependable. To say, if I have this guy on my side, I know this guy is loyal. I don't want to be around a circle of people where I'm always going to look around if something is going to happen to me. But it's going to be important for you to play your role in that relationship, like I said. And whatever type of a relationship, every relationship, whether it be romantic, whether it be a family relationship, whether it be a friendship, it needs these three things. Reciprocate anything and everything that they do to you. Number two, be a trustworthy person. Number three, be loyal. That is very important. And a loyal person is somebody who doesn't turn back from their word. They are committed. When they say, I'm going to come at 3 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, they are there. When they say, I'm going to do this, they are there. Why? Because they understand that the relationship needs to be built. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that that I don't trust. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't reciprocate what I do to them. If I give you something, trust you me, I expect you to do something for me. If I come and help you, one day I expect when I pick up a call and call you, you will come through for me. Why? Because we are building this relationship. I often hear people say, I don't care what people say. Let me tell you, you must care what people say, because without relationship, you are as good as your relationship. You're going to go as far as your relationship. That's why people will say your network determines your net worth. Your network determines your net worth. Why? Because you are as good as the people who surrounds you. You are as good as your network. You can go as far as your network. So it's important to be loyal. It's important to be a trustworthy person. It's important for you to reciprocate every good thing that people do to you. So you cannot just be somebody who's just you pass by. Everything that people do, you don't put an effort. You don't do anything to build this thing. You must be a person who reciprocates everything that people do to you. One. Number two, be a trustworthy person. You cannot just be a pass by and stand and you want things to happen to you. Relationship needs to be built. Relationship needs to be built. Relationship needs to be built. You need to build relationship with your business partners. And you see, when for those who are in business, they will understand this. When you have built relationship even with retailers and where you buy whatever that you buy, you get there, they give you discount. You'll find out that it's not everyone who's getting discount. Why? Because you have built relationship with your retailers. Even if you are in business, there are people that you give discount to. Why? Because you have built relationship with you. Like I said, there is nothing that you can do, and there's nothing that you're gonna achieve outside the relationship. Relationships are key to build anything that we want to build. All right. So there are expectations as well in relationship. Like I've said, if I'm in a relationship with you, there are things that I expect for you to do for me. And also there are things that I'm expected to do in a relationship. So it's important that when we are building this relationship, let us be people who will be honest with each other. Let us communicate our expectations. Because there's sometimes what we do, we don't communicate our expectations. You get into a relationship, like I said, whether romantic and otherwise, whether you don't communicate what you expect out of that relationship. And that is key. We need to communicate with ended. My expectations with Nentesi Zayo is 1, 2, 3. Why? So that we can all speak the same language, so that we can all swing to the same direction. But when we don't communicate our expectations, you find that we are in a relationship, but we don't communicate the same. And language is important in any form of relationship. Why? Because we need to communicate the same thing. We need to speak the same thing. We need to breathe the same breath. It's important to do those things. So each and every time when you're in a relationship, like I said, whether it's work, whether it's a colleague, whether it's home, communicate your expectation so that you can speak the same language with the person or with the people that you are in a relationship with. It. Even in a group of circle of friends, let us communicate our expectations. And that's why you find out that in a circle of friends, there are still people who having their own cliques inside the group. Why? Because there are no, we didn't speak expectations. We didn't say why we are gathering, why we are friends. We need to get to a point where we have these conversations and say, why you and me are friends? Why are you my friend? Why do you want me to have a relationship with you? And we need to grow to that extent to have those expectations being spoken out so that we all have the expected end. All right. So the other thing is relationships are pursued. We need to be intentional. Whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a family relationship, we need to have expectations when we are building this relationship. We need to put our best foot forward. Relationship needs to be pursued. You need to be intentional about it. Nothing just happens in this life. I always say there is nothing that just happens in this life. You need to be expected. You need to put out your expectation and you need to pursue relationships. That is important. And the other thing that relationship needs to be, you see, once you become in a relationship is a job. You are working full-time when you're in a relationship. It's a job, it's a work. Every day it needs to be cultivated. You need to do something to maintain it. You need to do something to keep it. So we need to keep our relationship. We need to work our relationships. We need to cultivate our relationships. And the only way you're going to cultivate and work on your relationship is when you know what is expected of you. Most of us were in relationships, but we don't know what is expected of us. You see, if you don't know what is expected of you, you will never know what to do. You will never know what is the requirement. There are people that we meet with them and we get into relationships with them, but there are no expectation communicated. And the problem is that if you don't know what's the expectation, you will never perform to the best of your abilities. Why? Because there is no expectation. There was nothing that was communicated. There is nothing that was said. And there's nothing that was required of you. So it's important that whenever you get into a relationship and whatever that you are ready to build through relationship, communicate your expectation. What is it that you expect? What do you require from me as a person that you are building with? But I can tell you now, there is nothing sustainable that you're going to build outside the relationship. That's why we need to be good to people. That's why we need to respect every person. Big, small, black, white, orange, and green. We need to respect people. Why? Because that's how we build. Because most of the things that we're gonna have in this lifetime, God has put them in other people. That's why you need to respect people. That's why you need to honor people. That's why you need to work on relationships, because the people that you're with now, you don't know what they're gonna be in the next few years. There are people who has helped me in my life, people that I've met 10 years ago, but because I didn't fight with them, because I left them in good terms, I can always pick up a phone and say, "Hey, daughter, please help me here." Why? Because I've been maintaining the relationship. And in relationships, again, one thing that I want to add, relationship comes in season. Just because my season is over in your story, it doesn't mean that you have to speak bad about me. If my relationship, you and me, has ended in a particular season, let me go. But one day you're going to meet me somewhere where you're going to need my help, or one day you'll want to pick up a phone and call me and say, "I need help in this area." So it's important to maintain relationships. But I can tell you, my message today was simply, you can never build anything sustainable outside the relationship. It's going to be key where you are, and if you want to build great things that maintain relationships, be honest in relationships, be loyal in relationships, reciprocate everything and anything that the people that you're in relationship with do to you, so that everything that you want to achieve, you can build it and achieve it through relationships. If you've got any question, guys, please do comment. But that's what I wanted to communicate today, that there's good in relationships. Don't take relationships for granted. Everything that you're going to build in your life, everything that you're going to get in your life, everything that you need to get and receive in your life, you're going to get it through people. Why? Because people are doors. People are doors. People are doors. I don't care what people say. You see, your name is everything in this life. Your name is everything in this life. Most of what you're going to need, God has put them in the hands of people. And when you don't respect people, when you speak bad about people, when you dishonor people, there are things that you're not going to get because you have dishonored people. There are things that you're not going to get because when you don't care what people say, but you must care what people say, because God has put most of what you're going to need in the hands of other people. So let us build relationship. Let us be intentional about relationship, whether romantic, whether it's a colleague, whether it's a family, but wherever you find yourself in terms of relationships and where you want to build something. Build solid relationship. Be honest. Be a trustworthy person. Be loyal. And you will see things will start happening in your life. My name is Bondoza the Builder, and I am building. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We're going to have another session next week as we go. But continue to build a relationship. Continue to be a loyal person. Continue to be a trustworthy person. And reciprocate everything that people do to you so that you can build through relationships. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you so much. Oh, somebody's asking. Karabo is asking, are there boundaries when it comes to friendship? How much of access to family finances, etc.? Okay, Karabo, this is what I'm going to say to you. That's why I talk about expectations. When you speak about expectations, that's where we set boundaries. You see, it's hard to set boundaries if you didn't communicate your expectations. So it's important to whatever that you want to set boundaries by, first hear the expectations. Okay, me and you, my friend, we're in this relationship. What is your expectation from me? And when you hear that, and you can only make boundaries from the things that you can be able to do. So you cannot make boundaries what there must be limits, obviously. But here first, what are your expectations? Because sometimes you assume, we assume this is what he wants from me, what she wants from me. And you are far off. But it's important to ask. That's why I'm talking about expectations. When you know what the next person expects from you, then it's easy to set boundaries. I hope I've answered you, Karabo. But when you know, when you know the expectations, it's easy to set boundaries because you know what the other person expects from you. So it's gonna be easy for you to set out those boundaries. But setting out boundaries without knowing the expectations, sometimes you'll be killing yourself or you'll be shooting yourself in the foot, because once you close that door, you won't be able to go further, and you need that person even further than where you have put them. So it's going to be important for you to know the expectation first, and then you set up the boundaries, and only promise the things that you know that you can do. Because sometimes we promise, when we are being asked our expectation, then we promise things that we cannot do. And that's where dishonesty comes. And that's where disloyalty comes. And that's when we become people who are not trustworthy. But only promise the things that you know that are within your reach and that you can do. But what is important in that, before you want to set boundaries, know the expectations first so that you can be able to set boundaries. Hope that is loud and clear. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate you. Go to YouTube. That's where you're going to find the full episode for those who just watch us now. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate everyone. Peace.